Here we go. Welcome to episode 5 of the OurTeam podcast. We've been doing this for 5 weeks now. You know, it's something we do every weekend. It's a lot of fun. The support you guys have been showing is absolutely amazing. Just simple things you can do to show some support is please like and subscribe. And the first time I'm ever going to say this, get the notifications on so you know when this drops each and every week. We have a huge guest on today, which is DBG, which is massive for us, probably the biggest name in the community. That's going to be a fun conversation later today. And as always, I'm joined by Josh and Jakel. Jakel, 11-0.
11-0. Just finished an absolute sweat fest, 3-hour stream, and I got 10 games in. So 11-0. So I'll save that last game probably actually after the 250k because I don't really trust those servers. All that's going on.
Are you frustrated you couldn't play that last game because of the podcast?
Nah, I'm actually happy because that game stressed me out. So need a little take back before that last game and then smash it out.
Yeah, cool. Josh, 250k qualifiers today?
Yeah. I mean, I've been having a lot of trouble with the server lately, so I'm just kind of hoping that I don't have any issues today. Other than that, I'm just do what I can.
Yeah. The servers have been playing up, hey? So it sounds like it's not the best time to be holding these qualifiers.
Probably not.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we've got so much to discuss this week. But first of all, as we always do, we start with a comment from you guys. Leave a comment below. We want you guys to be as engaged in this as possible. Any comment you leave, we'll probably discuss it on the following week. But we had a question from Bonis this week, and it's actually something we discussed last week, which is thoughts on the limited reward as of right now. Now, I'm heated about limited this weekend. I'm going to tell you why. But where do we sit right now with limited and the Russell Westbrook reward?
Honestly, guys, I know last week I was really putting my foot down saying I stand by Westbrook. I still kind of do. I'm still going to get him. But he is just awful now compared to the cards that's out. We just got, Alonzo, who is just an amazing card. So having a Galaxy up with Westbrook who needs to be updated is just what's the point of even grinding limited?
Yeah. What's your thoughts, Jakel?
I haven't really been high on that Russell, but I don't know. He could still. They need to give him a really good jumper. He's got to have a real good, and his animations for dribbling have to be real good. Otherwise, he's going to be not usable.
Yeah. Cool. I'm really heated about limited this week. In fact, I want to get it off my chest because I had the worst day yesterday ever playing this game. It took me 20 wins yesterday to get the ring on limited. Now, I set yesterday aside basically to catch up on XP. I was at 100k. I was like, I'm going to get to 120k. That's going to be my day. Then I'm all set to get the rewards. 20 wins on limited. First of all, completely derailed my XP grind. Right. So now I've got to find another day to do that. The rewards that I was getting, for winning 20 games, 1 token, 500 MT, all of this stuff, it was so unrewarding, to do it. The algo seemed dialed up to 1,000% unlimited. And this was my whole Twitter was covered in this yesterday. Basically everyone who was anyone was basically saying the algo was dialed up. Every full white was going in. So they've clearly played with the sliders on limited as well. I literally had one game where Ja Morant was basically just running into Kevin McHale's face and put up 50. Unlimited reward, Kevin McHale, hardest card to get in the game. That guy, he was getting run over by 92 overall diamond. Is limited still worth it? Because honestly, I was this close. I got it on the 20th win. If I didn't get it on the 20th win, I think I would have left it. Is it still worth it?
I don't even know, bro. I'm still trying to decide that. I usually play on Sundays, and like you said, 20 games, bro. 2K has 20 games. If not, F it, man. I'm happy with Lonzo. Westbrook, if they update him, I would be upset. So maybe I'll still just tough it out. But it's just something got to change, man. They got to update these cards.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see, I'll see a gameplay first, the next weekend when it's the last ring, and I'll just, if the card impresses me enough to have, then I'll get it, because it'll be my first Galaxy Opal. Oh, McHale probably will be, but then, I'll see if I can go for him. But if the gameplay, if he doesn't look amazing, I'm just going to go for the Hall of Fame badge.
Yeah, I mean, if I have another weekend like that, even being that close to Westbrook, I just can't be bothered. It wasn't worth it. Even last week, the rewards were good. I always play a little bit of extra limited because some of the other rewards are decent. They had flash packs in there last week. I've got 10 of those, which I haven't even opened yet. But just sweating through a game and getting one token at the end of it is about as soul destroying as it gets. Like 20 games, there's 2 games I lost as well, so I quit them early because they were sweats. But I basically played like a third of Unlimited last night, just trying to get that ring. Like
It's not fun. There's just nothing fun about that.
It's not fun
You
at
got
all.
to do something better. But like, I also was thinking too, like, I feel like we should get the rewards as we progress. Like you said, say the reward for one ring is like a pack or something. I feel like as you go by the weeks and get your ring, you need to get those rewards. It makes it like, even if they don't update that Westbrook card, I'm still getting a free Hall of Fame badge and a free Galaxy player. What is there to complain about? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This just needs to be something. I mean, we were talking about this yesterday, Josh. Like last season, they had that week, right, where they had Hall of Fame badges and things like that. I'm wondering if this weekend's going to be the same the next weekend because it's the last one. But they definitely made it more difficult this week. I think because it was Hall of Fame badge week, right? Like if you get five rings, you get the Hall of Fame badge. So this was the first time you could do that. I think they just dialed it up. To me, limited is becoming less and less and less of a casual mode almost every time I play it. I feel like 2K are trying to make this more competitive than it ever needed to be or they ever said it would be. They need to find a balance on it because I know people who aren't very good at this game and they're having a nightmare on this. Like there's people spending the entire weekend just sweating up against people and it's pointless. And the worst thing about it, honestly, like with 20 wins is fine, right? If you're good and you're getting rage quits and things like that, it's okay. But when they introduce an incentive where you have to play 5 limited games, and if you quit, you're not going to get, that won't qualify as one of those games. You're sitting through 20 games, even if you're up by 50, because the other person has an incentive not to quit. Like, they've got to sort it out. They've got to get the balance right. I'm never spending a day playing limited again. It's not happening. I am heated.
Look, limited should have been, they should have added, like, you get a pick at a ring, even if you lose, and then when you win, you get 2 picks. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
They should switch it to so people that are still getting stomped unlimited because there's going to be people like that, they can't even get wins. Like, just get them a pick.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, guys, so we had a lot of big news this week. I think the biggest news this week was a tweet from Mike Wang yesterday. Have you guys seen this?
Was it the nerfing Zens, whatever it was?
Yeah.
Getting rid of them.
So it was kind of weird, right? Because he said it had been patched, but he specifically mentioned like Park and Pro-Am, didn't mention MyTeam. Now I'm assuming MyTeam's been patched as well because it's all the same mechanisms, right? But I did find it a little bit weird that he kind of went out of his way to mention 2 game modes and not the others. Like, how significant is this?
Well, actually, I was talking to my friend Kyle about this on my stream. He's basically saying like Zen. It is a problem in the MyTeam community, but it's really a bigger problem in like Pro-Am and Park, which is what I'm hoping is why they didn't mention it. Because there's a lot of times where people in MyTeam community, like, they'll see somebody who could green a couple shots and just because they lost, they're like, oh, he's zenning. So, people try to use that excuse a lot. Yeah. But I know it's definitely like more known or like more frequent in the Park and Pro-Am community. So I'm hoping like, it applies to all game modes, not just those 2.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of a weird one, right? Because everyone's calling for it to be like everyone basically called for stick shooting to be removed, including myself, right? Because it's redundant in the game. But then as soon as he posted that, you had this influx of like 2,000 comments going, but I use the stick and I've mastered it. Like, why am I being punished for people who are cheating? Like it's almost like they just can't get it right, no matter what they do. I think it's really significant. I think it's hugely significant that they've patched that. I think it's taken them 4 months too long to patch it, but it is significant that it's happened. The question here for me, guys, is do 2K like now after 3 or 4 years of trying to force this on us, do they need to just give up on stick shooting? Because if they tried it last year, everyone rejected it. They tried it again this year. The majority of the community rejected it, like the vast majority.
I don't see the point in it. It's just it's like a silly feature that doesn't need to be in the game. We've used Square since like the beginning of basketball games, so it's like just keep it like that. It's the aiming. The aiming has added Zens. Like, we've never had Zens before. It's only because of the aiming, so they need to get rid of it.
Why do you think they keep pushing stick shooting? Why do they do this every year? Because now we're in a situation where they're punished for no reason, right? Like, if they just had it, this wouldn't be an issue. Why do they?
They're trying to be too like, I don't know, like they're trying to act like their game's so unique and they're always changing it, but they change silly things. That's one thing that does not need to be edited.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah. What's your thoughts?
They're not doing anything with that. Like I don't know why. Like I did use stick shooting last year. It's so crazy. I did do stick shooting last year. Then after I got into like the comp scene, I realized they were using the square, and I'm like, oh, I don't need the stick. This is not giving me an edge. I'm like, all right, back to square, and I just never looked back. But stick shooting is nothing special. I don't feel like you really need it though. It's just something 2K wants.
Yeah,
it's just something they can have.
I think it's like an attempt from them to be like a little bit sort of cooler, a little bit more esports. Like I don't know what it is. I can't really get my head around it. But this is like a cycle they've gone on for years. Like just stop trying to do it. Like if you're gonna get to a point where people that do it end up getting punished, and the people that don't do it are facing like exploits, like surely there's a part of you that goes, this is really not worth it. Like can we just use the button? Like I'm just waiting for it. 2K22 again. We're gonna see it, right?
I'm tired of this company, man. I'm so tired of this company, man. Like I swear I never lag, and this is something that's been going on. I know it's not only me now because I've seen RC made a post. The service has just been horrible.
Horrible.
And I feel like they plan this on purpose because like how you got a tournament coming up that same week and then you got the service like that. That doesn't make any sense to me. And it's like me, Ivan, you never hear me complain about lagging or anything. I use a LAN cable. So for me to be complaining about this in the tournament is today, Tuka's got to do something. And I promise you, they might lose a long-time customer, bro, if something happens with the servers. That's all I'm going to say.
It's not good, man. Like I said, the EU server is lagging all the time, right? It's always 1 to 2 seconds off. It's been 5 seconds off, like at times. I'll tell you, like literally what happened yesterday. It was the funniest thing ever. Like I had dishwasher open on a wide open dunk, and the input was so delayed, he ran off the court. Like literally just ran straight under the basket into the crowd. And on the very next possession, my opponent did the same thing with Ja Morant. Like that's how bad this game is now. It's so bad. And the lag was so bad. The servers were so bad yesterday. I had to restart my team 4 times just to see the XP agenda. And that's 12 hours from 250K. That's where all of that's happening.
That's terrible, man.
I mean, it's scary, isn't it? Like, yeah, they need to fix it. How much money are they making off these packs? Inferno packs, Jordan packs, Possess packs. Like, they must.
Service has always been their biggest problem. It's just they've never upgraded their service. Their service have stayed the same since probably 2K like 12, 13 when they had their servers. Like it's just been terrible.
Yeah,
they've never upgraded it, and I don't know why they don't want to, but how come like every other multiplayer game is not nearly as delayed as this game? Like. Yeah, it's almost a completely different game, you know. You can go play Call of Duty online, and it's not even that bad. Like when you aim and shoot, you really aim and shoot. Like here, you really do time. Like if you go shoot around and then go play online, your shots are literally so different. It just makes no sense.
Yeah. I mean, I really struggle with that transition from like online to offline. Like I've been scrimming recently, like for the first time, and even with that, the server's better. As soon as I load into like an online game mode, unlimited, limited, even TTO, it's just an entirely different gaming experience, even using the exact same settings. Like it's just so inconsistent, right? Like it's not good. Guys, let's move on to Kawhi. So we spent 20 minutes at the end of last episode talking about the fact that they need to update Kawhi. First thing is, do you think we had an influence over that? Because I'd like to think that we did.
Of course we did. Especially with Jazz working in the shadows. So Jazz is the Illuminati. Definitely has some strong influence on that.
Yeah. We haven't put any hits out yet, but we're getting there. He's been updated with range and steady shooter, so there's like a good upgrade and a bad upgrade. I think on next gen it looks like just an all round.
They actually nerfed it. I heard they nerfed blinders.
Yeah, they did.
So I think the time is kind of perfect. So like blinders is not going to be too OP anymore. So like Kawhi could really be a next gen or current gen, player.
Yeah. I mean, steady holds it back a little bit. It was kind of a weird decision, right? Again, unanimously kind of rejected badge, and they chose to put it on a card as an upgrade. Just kind of that lack of thought again going into that card. Like, Jaquel, you said you might actually do the XP grind to me 2 days ago. Like, what?
I might. Maybe, I don't know. Now that I'm seeing these cards that have just come out as well, I'm just like, maybe not. Like, because in another 2 weeks, I feel like the cards are just going to be like out of this world. Like, we can really get in there. Like that Lonzo Ball is like freakish. He's a freakish card.
Yeah, I
And
picked him up
so
last night.
yeah,
Yeah,
I just don't know if Kawhi is really worth it. I just don't know if he is.
I think it's going to be a timing thing, right? I think if you get him in the next week or two, he will be the best card in the game. I think if you get him towards the end of the last couple of days, yeah, I mean you're probably a few days away from some ridiculous cards coming out. I think at the start of next season, but I think he will be the best card in the game now. Like, you agree?
Yeah. He's a monster. He's a monster card. He is amazing.
I don't know. I feel like because the most of the season reward cards is kind of like leading up to having a good 250K team. I feel like after 250K, the season 40 rewards, they're gonna be good, but they're not gonna be the best cards in the game anymore. I feel like they're just gonna start saving that for packs. So just as a money grab, they really want people to focus on getting packs now. Season rewards is a good idea, the level 40 rewards, but I feel like not a lot of people are gonna want to grind it anymore because it's like, all right, 250 came and it went. What am I grinding this level 40 card for? Like, that's how I feel. Like I might not even grind any more cards after this.
It's a weird one though, because I think the XP agenda is the biggest money grab in the game. That's how I feel, because it's such a heavy MT burn, right? Like, if you just think about the amount of contract you're using, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 contracts, right, to get that done. Just on that alone, you're hitting easily a few 100K, and then the renting of players and selling them back, you're losing more MT there. I think it's such a heavy MT burn that it actually leads people to buy packs to kind of recover their MT. So I think it's going to be relatively prominent. Like, my guess for that reward next season now, I actually said if we don't see him in packs this week, which we didn't, we actually did, but it was a center pink diamond version. I think Giannis is going to be the XP reward. I think Galaxy Opal Giannis is going to be that reward. They've just released the Giannis. There's 2 pink diamonds out now. They're not going to release an Opal in the next couple of weeks, right? Because they've literally just released a Giannis card. It makes sense that in 4, 5, 6 weeks that Giannis will be available. And the thing that makes sense is XP. Yeah,
hope so. Free Giannis would be nice.
That's the thing. Is it free? Is it free? How much does it cost, really? I don't know. Guys, did you see the fake pack leak this week?
Yeah.
That was the funniest thing ever. Oh my gosh. I remember, Jazz, I don't know if you saw it, but you're in that PS4 group chat we're in, and we had already knew the leak was fake. So we're telling the kid, like, yo, it's not real, it's fake. And then he was like, no, it's real. We was like, yo, translate it. And then somebody pulled up the translation. He said, I can't believe, or something like, did you really fall for this fake leak? And I'm like, wow. Like, who told that much? Like, but they was kind of close, with Lonzo, but everything else was off. But they were close with Gas and Lonzo. It was definitely close.
Do you know the official Polish 2K Twitter retweeted that?
They did?
Yeah.
Wow. Why would they do that?
Oh, it's so funny. I don't know. It's so funny.
Rose.
Like, we've got DBG on later as well. Like, I think he did a video on it, and then he did a video kind of laughing about it. Like, how did this guy just get the entire community? It's so funny because I had like 3 or 4 inbox messages when people sending me the content, and I didn't see those messages until I already knew it was fake. So it was kind of a it was the best way to kind of respond to it, kind of going, yeah, this is fake. You're a muppet. But everyone fell for it. The whole community fell for it. Like, it's really like it's the first time someone has trolled the entire community at once that's not 2K. Like, I'm impressed.
I know trolls, man. So that was the biggest troll ever. I know some trolls.
Yeah, I mean, that guy must be like sitting at home, like pissing himself, right? Like, he got everyone. He got everyone. All right, guys, content this week. Should we go through it? So first one was throwback moments. Steve Francis, Gasol, Tomjanovic, Randall. Thoughts?
Yeah, they were all right cards. Nothing crazy. But yeah, like, I hadn't tried any of them, so I don't really know much about the cards.
The throwback cards, I thought it was pretty good. I feel like that throwback set has been a little but like the Steve Francis was definitely a good card. Finally see a card better than his Amethyst was definitely nice to see. I didn't use him, but like he had the same jump shot. I'm pretty sure it's on quick. So I did enjoy like using the Amethyst, like I said, and Jazz used the Amethyst as well. So for him to get that pink diamond was definitely nice to see. And it kind of like, dropped the values of cards like a Derrick Rose or a Ben Gordon. But it's definitely a good card. And even Russell Westbrook, like they're the same height. same dribble saves.
I think
One
it's a
has a
better
better
card
jump
already.
shot. Yeah, definitely. This sucks because why wait 6 weeks if you're gonna get the card that's gonna be outdated when you get him?
Yeah,
So yeah,
he's
definitely
not
good
enough
to
of a
Fontane's
name to
good.
kind of hold value as well. That's the thing with Steve Francis. Like, I think the price will go down. I think he'll be worth about 60K in a week or two. Well, like once XP's done, basically his price is going to go through the floor. I think he's a really good picker. I ran that Amethyst for ages, like you said, Josh, like for ages, like 2 months. I absolutely love that Steve Francis Amethyst card. I was really like, he only had the 84 3 ball or something, but like it was one of the most comfortable releases I've used. His speed, his animations, everything. Like he was a really, really good card. So I am definitely going to try that Pink Diamond. I'll probably do his XP, so I will pick him up at some point. Did you try that, Randall?
No, I didn't get a chance to try him. I did look at him. I heard somebody in the community compared him to like a Draymond Green. But yeah, I never got to use the card. Maybe when I do XP, which would be like later, I'll probably look into it. But he didn't look too bad. Like on paper, he doesn't look too bad. Power forward center, and I believe he can handle the ball a little bit and shoot. So I don't think he's that bad. I heard he's like a budget beast as a center.
He is a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a card that everyone is sleeping on. You know the kind of Ja Morant, Jeremy Grant like rim run that's kind of unstoppable. He's got that rim run on some whole other level. Like you cannot stop him.
Yeah.
You cannot stop him.
Yeah,
He's
you don't need
so
that.
dominant, so dominant, and his shot is really nice. His shot is really nice. It's an argument that he's kind of the best diamond sort of stretch 5 in the game right now. I think that's probably accurate. Everyone's sleeping on that card. I ran him. Yeah, I ran him on. What did I run him on? Unlimited. Yeah, he was dominant. Absolutely.
We got a lot of good diamonds this season. I'll definitely say that. We definitely got a lot of good diamonds. We got the Rudy Fernandez. You got the Jared Smith. DeAndre Ayton was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like you said, Julius Randle. So there's definitely some good diamonds we're getting from these sets now. And I feel like as we go on more and more, we get better amethyst. And even the rubies that dropped this Friday, which I'm sure you're gonna uncover. Some really good rubies. Some really good rubies.
Yeah, those 3 rubies are like, all of them. None of them are rubies, are they? Let's be honest. It's just ridiculous how the tiers mean nothing now, right? We're at that point where tiers literally mean nothing. Where you've got like we had Amethyst Dino last week, who's basically a Galaxy Opal with like 2 badges, and now we've got 3 rubies, which at worst are pink diamonds. At worst, like tiers have lost all meaning. Guys, the next release we got was kind of a one-off kind of random release, which was the Moments Van Vliet. Did anyone try him? Run against him?
No, I ran against him. I ran against him, and he was killing me. Like,
was he?
He seems to have like one of those elite releases. Like his release is real good.
It's Giannis release on quick.
Oh, is that what it is? Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's weird with these cards. Like they do drop them randomly, and they always get lost in the shuffle when it's like a one-off release because not enough people use them. No one really rips those packs. It'd be good. Like I might pick him up just so I could do like a review of him because I don't think anyone's done sort of any content really in relation to that card. It'd be good to know a little bit more about him. The next set was like the big set of the week, which was yesterday, I think. Retro 2K packs, the real Retro 2K packs, not the fake ones. We got Galaxy Opal Jordan. Let's start with Jordan. What's your thoughts?
He is honestly the best 2-guard in this game. And it's like I thought about it. I was talking to my friends in the party. I'm like, you got T-Mac who has Hall of Fame claims, Hall of Fame range. But if you take away, like if you give Jordan a Hall of Fame range, the gap between him and T-Mac is not even close. Because for one, his tendencies on defense are gas. Like Jordan's going to get you stops. Not to say T-Mac can get you stops, but you just know Jordan's going to get you stops. You can put him on the ball. Showtime dunks, and they actually let Jordan be able to shoot. So I feel like he's definitely going to be a good card. And the most important thing is Pro 2. And everybody knows how important that Curry slot is. And I played against Jordan, and it was hard to guard him with that Pro 2. Like, it was tough to guard him. So I definitely feel like he's a top 2 guard in this game. And there is going to be one on the all-chance or Hall of Fame range, of course, which might even, go for a lot. So I think he's one of the best shooting guards, if not the best in the game.
MJ, that's an insane card. I'm blown away that they've already released that. Like, 250K teams are going to be so OP.
Yeah.
It's gonna be real fun to watch. Yeah, I'm going to be real excited to watch because it'll literally be Galaxy Opals and probably even a Dark Matter by the time 250k is there.
Yeah, it's very possible. It's very possible. I think, right, I'm going to tell you what I think. This is going to be a hot take for sure. I think with Jordan cards, I think when they drop, there's always hype. There's always hype, right? And I'm going to give you an example from last year. But the cards always turn out to be a bit underwhelming. This is just the history of Jordan cards, right? I'm going to give you the example of the GOAT Jordan last year. So he was the second GOAT card to drop, right? Kobe was the first one, which was that ridiculous grind. And then they released Jordan in packs, and he was point guard eligible. So everyone went crazy. Jordan's the best card in the game. He's the best point guard in the game. Everyone went crazy. So crazy that that card was selling for 1.5 million MT. That's how crazy people went. Then, about 2 weeks later, they started releasing the other GOAT cards, right? T-Mac came out, all the others came out, and that card was going for 80k.
Mm-hmm.
That was the reality that's in. I picked up that GOAT Jordan for 80k on a buy now. Like, I just think it's the same thing again. I think they've released a Jordan card early, which is why he seems overpowered. He's always one of the first releases in a new tier, right? With Pink Diamond, Galaxy Opal, etc. So there's nothing really to benchmark him against. And then he goes for a huge amount of MT because he is always one of the best cards. But within 2 to 3 weeks, every Jordan card that's ever been released in this game has been outdated.
But they did drop Galaxy Opal, T-Mac, and LeBron before they dropped Jordan. And I still feel like he's arguably one of the best cards. And we didn't have the Curry slide last year either. So, like, to have it this year, and, you know, playing as a role, like I said, like, just playing against him, it was definitely tough. Like, it's just, you know, you stop him, a little hesitation, and he moves to Pro 2. I'm like, oh. Now I can't keep up with him now. You know, spamming the Pro 2 behind the back, so it's hard. But I think he's still going to be a good card. And like Jaquel said, he's going to be in a lot of 250k teams.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think right now he's definitely one of. Is he better than Kawhi at shooting guard?
Close. It's close. Yeah, it's close.
Maybe because he doesn't have no steady shooter, and Kawhi does. It's not crazy, but like you throw a Hall of Fame range on Jordan, and it changes everything about that card.
That's something that's I mean, where are you getting Hall of Fame range from though? Right, that's like probably the toughest upgrade.
I'll lock in for that. I'll drop that much.
So that card's already a million MT then by the time you've done all that.
Yeah, I can make that back. I can make that back though.
You can. And
then the market crash. You just gave me an idea because the market crash is literally going to be from after the qualifiers is done. The market is crashing, and then when you get super packs, it's going to crash even more. Just gave me an idea, Jazz.
You're welcome. All right. Giannis, Pink Diamond.
Yeah, I'm after him. I actually did a little bid just before I jumped off my stream. There's one that's like 21 Hall of Fame badges, so I'm gonna grab him for whatever he's gonna go for because I literally played against him and he was exactly what I thought he is. Like, I miss his card. When I had his diamond earlier in the seasons, like, he was everything for my defense. He's perfect player for me because I'm in the lanes like crazy. So, like, Giannis's build, 6'11", longest wingspan, and he feels like he can guard the whole court. Like, he's that ridiculous. So
this is a question I would ask most people, but it's kind of pointless asking you because you green with literally every card in the game. But he's got a 75 3 ball. You don't think that holds him back?
Nah, because if I chuck that diamond shoe on him and then with the coach, he's in the 80s, so like, he's money, and he's got decent badges now, shooting badges as well. So
Alonzo on the court too. Alonzo on the court with him, he's good. Yeah.
Let's talk about that Lonzo. So I picked him up. His price like literally went off a cliff yesterday. They overloaded the packs with him. Like, they're massively overloaded. Like, I literally went to pick one up and I was basically just bidding 110k. On each card, hoping that one would go through, and then one went through for like 108. So I picked him up for like just over 100k. But I checked like half an hour before that, he was sitting at like 150k, and I think half an hour before that, he was like at 180. But they've literally flooded the packs of Lonzo, so I think he's going to go way down because there's too many of them on there. There was one expiring every 3 seconds. Like, that's literally what was happening on the auction house. It got out of control. Is that Lonzo the best point guard in the game?
Hell yeah, it's not even close. That is not even close. If you look at him, it's like he's 6'6", which is a great size. And what makes him better than Magic Johnson is his dribble 6, even though Magic Johnson can Pro. He can Pro 2, not on current gen though. Even though he has better, I think he has better dribble skills than Magic. He moves better. And like if you look at Lonzo's frame, he's big. Like he's not just tall, but he's big. Like he's solid.
Yeah.
So like you can put him. He could honestly get away with guarding the 1 through 5. Not to say I'm gonna put him on the center, but if I get that switch and you give him rim protector and post with lockdown, he's gonna be able to hang because he has an 80 interior defense and a 96 perimeter defense. So he's definitely one of the best guards in the game.
He's so elite, bro. He's like I've just grabbed him for my 12-0 run, and like he's just even as a release, like it might be a little ugly, but it's just if you get used to it, he's money.
Yeah, I mean, his release has been updated, right? Like me and Josh were literally having this. I said to Josh, like, you pick up Zalonto, it's going to be the best card of the best point guard. Josh's response was his release is butters, and then like 3 hours later, we realized he had a new release and actually he is probably the best point guard in the game. I haven't used him yet. I literally picked him up before I went to bed, but he looks ridiculous.
Yeah, they gave him a set shot at first because everybody, like, even last year when they introduced the set shot to the game, it was horrible. I said, what is this garbage? Like, I'm glad they gave him his old release. And it's like, it's not like his old release is anything crazy, but it's damn sure better than the set shot.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. I mean, I've seen a few gameplays on him. It looks like a really nice release. And, for me being as bad as I am at shooting, that's always a positive. There was a few more cards in this set that were really relevant. That diamond/pink diamond/40 XP grind, Steph Curry. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? This is the second time they've done this in a week, right? They did JR Smith.
It's going to continue to happen. Like, I'm happy because now I can finally use like the pink diamond Curry that's been killing me for seasons. But like, he's probably outdated now anyway. It doesn't like Curry's probably.
I don't know if he'll ever be outdated, that Curry. Like, if you could like I said, if you can Curry sliding green with him, he'll be relevant on the last day of this game. Like, I think he's had some time. I think that's a good thing. He like people who got him had 3 months with him, right? Where they basically had him and no one else did. But is it still okay that they've released the same card now? Is that okay considering people put that effort into the XP grind?
No, it's not. They shouldn't have even done it. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's such a grind, man. That level 40 is such a grind, and then you're just gonna, how can you just do that?
If they give us a Dwayne Wade that's actionable, and he's like close to what I grinded for, even better, I would be so pissed off. But man, that level 40 grind, do you know how hard it was just to even convince myself to do it again, man? I feel like it's a slap in the face. 2K is really just.
It's definitely coming. Like that, Jeff Petrie was mini Wade, wasn't he? Like, they're clearly ready to put his kind of build onto other players. So it's inevitable. Even if it's not a D Wade, it'll be another player with his exact space that's just equally as good, right?
That's a quick release because Wade has it on normal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Should we talk about these rubies?
Those rubies are a problem. Those rubies are a problem. Mo Bamba is wow. Kobe, wow. Like that Kobe is really elite. Yeah. It's like 46 gold badges. I know he's got no half, but like for his price, like rubies,
he's
man.
Way too close to that pink diamond. He's way too close to pink diamond as a card.
They're diamonds. They're diamond players, 100%. They're diamond players. And they're really good. Like Mo Bamba, just his whole body type, everything about him is
his build is insane, isn't it? Absolutely insane. Bonga is the headline.
Like a 7'5" wingspan. How long is his wingspan? Like 7'10" or something?
He's got a real long one. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
Bonga headline. The DBG say he's one of the top 10 point guards in the game. I think he said that.
I'll talk to him about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's wrong, to be honest. Like, that card is ridiculous. You badge him up and he can compete with any point guard in the game. Some of the highlights I'm seeing, mate, online, like, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. A DFS posted a highlight of Isaac Bonga getting a mid-court block yesterday, which was probably the most devastating block I've ever seen from a card. The guy was just moving up the court. He tried to pass it, and Isaac Bonga just smashed it out into the bleachers.
That's a pro. I like it, but like, damn, man, he's 6'8", Like if you had like 4 or 5 Hall of Fame badges laying around, you chuck that on him. Like he is elite.
Game changer.
He's elite.
Let's not forget about Brian Scalabrine. I don't want people to overlook that card. He's pretty good.
Yeah,
He has Hall of Fame range,
range.
Showtime dunks. He could play like pretty good. Like he's a good card. The Brian Scalabrine, I feel like they kind of released that card. He never really does good, but this Brian Scalabrine card, he looked good. Like this, if you're a budget bowler this week, this content is just perfect for you, man.
Yeah,
I'm happy for them.
Yeah, no, it's that is the best thing about all of this. Yeah, you're right. Like, yeah, being a budget baller has never been easier than it is right now, right? You're picking up MPJ cards for like 1K, you know, you're picking up Dino Rajas, Isaac Bongas, like all these cards are just so overpowered. Diamond Curry's there now. Like it's just getting easier and easier and easier. Okay, guys, it's guest time, as always. We are super excited. We literally couldn't be any more excited. I still can't quite believe that he's coming on the podcast this week.
But,
yeah, we have DBG on and we got a whole host of questions to ask him. So yeah, please join me in welcoming DBG to the OurTeam podcast. Hey DBG, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, we're very good.
How are you?
Very good. all the better for having you on, man. Thank you for doing this. We really appreciate it.
No bother at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement about all the sort of high IQ questions we're about to ask you. I'm sure they're not. There's only one place we could start really, and that was with the start of 2K21, because I've wanted to have this conversation with you for 4 months. The 200-0 record, the best stick shooter in the world, really relevant considering we just had a patch on stick shooting yesterday. Yeah, man, what were your thoughts on 2K21 like when it came out?
I mean, nobody could shoot except me. It was as simple as that. Like everyone was complaining about not shooting. Like to be fair though, they did tell us before the demo was released, a stick shooting was going to be the most OP way of shooting. They did tell us.
Yeah.
So we can't forget that. So I was playing a bunch of PGA 2K21, getting used to like pulling the stick down perfectly straight. And basically, with the way I was for stick aiming, I also made the claw grip, which worked really well.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
And yeah, I just couldn't lose because I paint sat on everybody. They couldn't score on me, and I greened every shot.
You sat in the paint? Oh, I'd have been mad the first few months. I stole my controller. I'm like, why are you sitting in the paint? I can't shoot.
But I could shoot. Shoot. People were paint sitting on me, and I was hitting 90% of my threes. Shooting. So my opponents were going 1 for 87 from 3, and I was shooting step back fadeaways with Alan Houston with 2 hands in my face. Most games I played with Alan Houston, and then eventually Paul Pierce after I got him. Alan Houston, Mitch Richmond, Larry Bird. But like there was a stage where I think I had 25 games in a row where they were first quarter rage quits.
Damn.
Jeez.
Like most of the, because every game that people were playing was just like everyone in his own running to the basket. And then all of a sudden you play against some guy who's shooting fadeaway threes, you assume they're hacking. So it was just quit straight away. Like I got my 68-0 in probably 12 hours, if even, of playing, because 90% of my games were first quarter rage quits.
Wow. You know the claw thing? Walk me through how you came up with that, because I tried it. It didn't work.
How was it? You hold it a certain way, like the controller?
So
Okay,
yeah,
it's
so
big
this
with
was
the
the
front of
controller. It was, I would hold, when I was, basically the claw grip is this. It didn't work. Basically your index finger here is like, goes on in like on the top of the analog stick. That didn't work because you pushed the stick down the wrong spot. But I realized you would push the stick down almost directly straight. If you had your hand in your normal grip and you swiped down, if you swiped down, it almost went straight. As well as that, because you weren't using your thumb, your whole thumb to like move it, you were able to like very, very finely move it. Because at the very start, if you brought the stick down, no matter how hard you slapped it down, it would only be the tiniest movement. So people are over adjusting with their thumb. But because you had this movement, you already had it face down, so you can make a tiny adjustment really, really easily with your thumb.
Oh yeah, that's
so basically every single shot was green. Every single shot was green.
That's a skill.
I
just figured it out.
I don't know if I could change the way I hold the controller now. That would be so hard, so big of an adjustment for me. That's tough.
Yeah, my hand started really hurting. I had to stop. Like my hand had severe hand pain after like 3 weeks of it. It got really bad. Like I had to stop playing. I literally had to stop playing for a few days. My hand was that sore. It was like a 3-day period in September where I only made list videos. My hand was too sore to play.
People were like cutting grooves into the controllers and everything, right, to try and get that kind of mechanism down. Do you think stick shooting is done now for good? Like, or do you think 2K are going to try it again next year?
I think it's done. Like even if you're playing on next gen, anyone who knows what they're doing with the stick, they just fade away and hit every shot, and you're like, so there's. I think it was the right idea, but it was just no. People are too good at the game to bring in something like that now.
Yeah, I agree.
Like something where it's like timing. It's very difficult to time something frame. It's basically one frame you have for a green window, maybe 2 frames. Like which is like 1/60th of a second. It's basically a green window. Yeah. It's a lot easier to just aim and get it within at a somewhat right angle. It's a lot easier to aim. So I think it's something that they tried to bring in like NBA Elite 11 when Mike Wang was working for EA, but I don't think he realized how good people have gotten at 2K and how far people are willing to go, especially because there's so much money on the line now. Yeah. How far people are willing to go to win. So like there was obviously the Zen issue. People playing for money. They're obviously if you have a chance of cheating, a lot of people would cheat.
Yeah, exploit.
We've seen some of the best players in the world. We've seen you whipping out Zen controllers in tournaments to win money. Like
really?
And
wow.
Yeah, I don't want to name any names, but like yeah.
Are you gonna try to qualify?
Sorry?
Today? Are you gonna try to qualify today? You just
I think he's retired from current gen.
God no. I'm gonna sit on Twitch and I'm gonna watch other people try to qualify. I'm gonna watch other people rage like I raged the last qualifiers and just sit there being like, you know what? I'm glad. I'm so glad I did not boot up this game today to play. I'm so happy. Like, that's basically my entire logic about it.
You have retired, right? Like you said in a couple of videos ago, you retired from the current gen.
I mean, like I'll play gameplays. For some reason, I can't. The PS5 is a really weird one with logging into other accounts, basically region lock. So
right,
I have to do some stuff on PS4. But sorry,
yeah. If 250k was on next gen, would you have gone for it?
Yeah, I'm not good enough at next gen. I'll straight up and say it. Like I'm probably an 80% win loss record player on next gen, which is not good enough to even come close to 250k. But it's a lot more fun, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
So what kind of win record do you think people need for like 250k? Because sometimes it's luck too. Because you could just get matched up with a bunch of bad teams and like really pull it off. But some people, sweats. It's just tough.
It is luck, but what I will normally say is if you in previous years, if you're at the level where it's hard to know nowadays because some people don't play unlimited. It's not like people constantly doing 12-0 grinding. But what I used to say in other years was if you can go 12-0 more times than you didn't go 12-0. Yeah. So if you would basically go 12-0 on 70% of your attempted runs, you will have a chance. But if you're say going 12-0 on 3-4 resets, it's just very, very little chance of managing to pull off, especially if you're in the US. You just need one sweat and it's over. Like in Europe, there's maybe 15 of us that are sweats, and it's a lot easier to dodge said 15 players than it is to dodge the 200 sweats in the States. Like, so it's a tough one, but it's a fun one to play in anyway, because you never know. Because like no offense to Zeb Warrior, he's not a spectacular player, but he obviously got a good run of games and qualified week 1, so you just never know.
Yeah, me and Josh were talking about this yesterday, actually. Like, the kind of the split between luck and skill when it comes to 250k. Like, we were basically saying it's like 30% skill, 70% luck. Like, comes up.
No, you are complete. It's like 95%. It's like 90% skill, 10% luck.
You're good. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, it's just there's so many factors. Like, the servers aren't working, things like that. We've literally had server issues in the last sort of 12 hours. I mean, that could literally cost someone their run completely out of their control.
Oh, 100%. Like, you have to take into account that there's probably 20,000 people thereabouts at least per tournament with 4 qualifiers. So, like, if it was a case where it's 70% luck, then it means that somebody that might be the 10,000th best player would have a chance. And they simply don't. There's about 100 people that have it. There's about 100 people that have a chance.
Yeah.
Out of more than 10,000 people. So, obviously, which of those 100 people end up in the top 4 is luck. But like, if you're not in the top 100, 200 players in the world, like you're not even going to be in a shot of making top 4. So
I can see Josh's anxiety levels going up as he prepares for that qualifier.
I ain't stressing about it, man. Listen, whatever happened, happened. I just don't want to face one of these 200 sweats that's out there. That's it.
What are your thoughts on like the whole these people not qualifying? They're qualified. They're finished top 4. Like, what is going on with all that stuff?
I've actually tried to. I've spoke to some of the devs about it because obviously I know a few people. Like, everyone knows Crymouse is one of the best players in the world, and no one understood why he didn't qualify. Everyone on the PS4 side was celebrating because nobody wants to play that dude. But
do you think maybe it's maybe overseas? Because where does he live? Is he?
No, he's American. There's a bunch of Europeans in the PS4 side. It's basically some people are from a state where you can't play. There's like 3 or 4 states in America where you're not allowed to play. There's some countries where you're not allowed to play. There are also background checks. So if you even said anything the 2K don't like, they cannot put you through if they want to. Like, it's all at their discretion. And also, if they deem somebody cheating, if they deem any sort of thing that there's possibility of cheating, they won't let you in. Like, there was 2 people the 2 people on the Xbox side that went from like 10th place into 2nd and got like 800 points in one game. It happened twice, 2 times in a row, and both of them ended up getting disqualified. And I assume, have all you guys played the 250 tournament before, have you?
I haven't. I'm actually thinking about trying it today.
Like anyone who's playing it knows it's not humanly possible to get 800 points in a game. So I think that kind of was a red flag. So I don't know. There probably is a couple of situations where 2K have definitely have wrongfully banned people, but I think they see everything on their end and they made the decisions. So like, I don't know more than they do. There has not been a case of somebody who live streamed their 4 hours getting kicked out. That's all I'm going to say. The only people that have been kicked out haven't live streamed. So like, even for them, they could make an argument that if they'd streamed to prove that they weren't. So it's a tough one.
The second one, I actually tried. Like, I didn't even get to finish my game. The guy quit, and I'm trying to continue. I got error coded basically. I'm like, what the? Oh,
that's
this horrible, man.
Error code servers are a joke. They are a joke.
It's terrible, man. It's demoralizing. Like, it really is. So keep up here all month for this. Then your first game error code. It's like, why do I even try?
Yeah, I got error coded game 3.
You were up?
I got error coded game 3 in the first qualifier. This was when I thought I had a chance qualifying, and I was just like, you know what, I don't care anymore.
Just go straight away. DBG, let's talk about XP, because you've kind of stayed away from this, right, entirely this season, which is a good move. Like, I didn't do the first 2. I did do Wade, and I'm doing Kawhi, but I'm doing Kawhi, but it's not even close right now. Like, at this point last season, I was basically at Wade. I'm like 40K. My motivation has gone completely. Is there anything that would make you do it?
I don't like grinding XP.
If it was a point guard Turkaloo, would you do it then?
I don't know. There's no card that's worth it. If I couldn't grind for Steph Curry in season 1,
yeah,
there will never be. Goat Yao Ming from last year isn't enough better than the cards we have now, than that Steph Curry was to the cards we had in September.
Yeah.
There is no way. Like, it was stressing me out. Like, I'd be going into an unlimited game with Ben Wallace, and it was when I was getting first quarter rage quits. So I was going into unlimited games with Ben Wallace constantly, and I was like, you need 9 rebounds with him, or I need 10 rebounds, and I would get like 6 rebounds. I would be chucking up bricks in the first quarter. I'd be like trying to stay in games. It took me like 25 games to get 10 rebounds with Ben Wallace. So at the end of that, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I haven't even looked. I don't even look at the agendas. If I happen to go up, I think I'll probably get Nick Batum this time, and I'm happy about that. But
yeah,
I haven't even looked at them.
Yeah, it's just too much
about it.
I think they've got to reduce it a little bit. Like, they've just got to they've got to put more thought into the actual XP. I think, because some of it is just like you just said, like trying to get 10 rebounds in an unlimited game with a player. That's not entirely in your control. You know, if you come up against you at the beginning of the game where you're knocking down every single shot for 2 months, I mean, you're just not going to get those rebounds. I just think they've got to think it through. But I'm definitely tired of it, and I think a lot more of the community are going that way.
Yeah, like my whole thing was, it was almost stressful playing the game, and I didn't really find the game fun anyway. Like even when I was winning, I didn't think the game was good. Like I disliked it when I was winning 200 games in a row.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is that I didn't enjoy it, and I kind of came to the realization about the time around the first 250 qualifier that's like I'd rather have fun and not have the best cards and not be good at the game than be like bored out of my mind, hate the game, grind something I don't want to do, and get the best card.
Yeah.
You might
I
talk me
agree.
into quitting up. I might give up on this Kawhi. You about to talk me out of it.
I'm really close.
Kawhi is, if you're close,
really close.
Kawhi's good. Like
Is 56K close though? Like,
I don't know. I'm on like 20.
yeah, I'm looking at it. It's like I got a long way to go. I don't know if I really want to do this.
The only reason those are worth it is for people who can participate in 250k. Otherwise, it's just don't.
I'm not gonna have him by today.
I mean, that's the kind of obviously you're basically a pro player. Are you? You were in the global champs, weren't you?
Yeah.
So
But
like,
I
obviously,
can't do 250k. Like it's not possible.
yeah,
There's not enough players.
More or something, isn't it?
Yeah. And then there's not enough players. Like you win 5 games, and then there's like 10 of us left.
Yeah.
Like over.
Yeah, it's a seriously flawed system.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that like when you make the arguments like so when you go for 250k, like it's good for completionists as well. There are people that just want to get the card. Like we can't take into account like Spotlight Sim, the Kobe Bryant card last year wasn't very good. But a lot of people just wanted to get that card.
You should talk about your take and your response on that.
That'll be no. Maybe later.
Yeah, I thought that
like,
was very underwhelming.
There are so. One thing I will say is that like, obviously it's a little bit of a different logic when we're talking about people that are kind of big in the community, talking about the 250k tournament. There are so few people that the 250k tournament is of any relevance to. And I'm not even talking about like in this chat, like I'm guessing the 4 of us have played and the 3 of us have probably had situations where we're thinking, you know what, we kind of want to qualify, we want to have a chance, but like, you forget that there's a couple of hundred people that 250k is a big relevance to. For 99.9% of people, they don't even know what a 250k tournament is.
Yeah. I've kind of found a sort of a different kind of fun in the game recently because Josh scrims quite a lot. I've seen you've been doing it as well with DBG. Like you played Panda Wings, you played JD the other day as well. Like I've just kind of found this whole new world in the game of like actually just playing your mates, not doing things for rewards and all of this stuff, and it's just become way more fun for me. Like I'm having a chat with someone, it's just more fun, way more fun. We're gonna see more of that with you think, against other YouTubers?
I don't know. With other YouTubers, highly unlikely. First of all, there's delay. Second of all, if you've ever tried to work with YouTubers, myself included, it's not easy. It's just too much stress. I've said it to their face. I've said it to all these people's faces that it's just too much stress working with them, and that's why I just don't do it.
Actually, see, you just posted a whole lot of it. Like, you edit all your videos, right?
Yeah. So basically, you can see this screen here. I have a Mac Mini there. So basically, what I do is the PC I have right now, this right here. Probably can't see it. So what I have is I'll record like in blocks of an hour. I have my editing software on my PC. I'll edit a video, have it rendering, and then because I've recorded in blocks of an hour, I can record maybe 2 videos, maybe 3 videos in that. So a lot of the time, while one video is rendering, I'm editing on another computer. So then by the time I finish editing, the other video is rendered, so I can click upload. Then it's rendering on this computer. I record another video as one is uploading. And it's basically a system where I'm constantly moving between 3 different positions, recording, editing, rendering on 2 different computers. And it's like conveyor belts for about 12 hours a day. I don't know, about 8 hours a day.
I used to think you had to edit it. Because the way you put like your video, like the way you get content out, I'll be sitting here trying to record a gameplay. And they said DBG post. I said, you know what? Yeah, they think I like it. But you post a lot. Now, I thought you had somebody else edit. That's pretty impressive, man.
Yeah, how many videos was it today? That was
10
yesterday.
10.
But like it was 10 yesterday. But like those worth of videos are. If you've been in my streams, you know that I just upload raw footage for a few videos. Like the worth of videos and like the history video, anything I record while I'm on my stream is just raw footage. So it's just a case of being quick with thumbnails more than anything. But like my content is so reliant on being fast and just being constant that an editor would slow me down too much.
Yeah.
Like you think an editor would speed me up, and an editor actually in fact slow me down.
I agree, because I actually did think it was gonna help me. I tried doing it. It's too much, because like if they have other people, it's like you need, like you said, with the content you make, it's time sensitive. If they're taking you like a couple hours, it's like it ruins the point of even. I might as well do it myself, because I know like if I don't get it on my time, it's on me. So I definitely understand that too.
Yeah, it's definitely first past the post with that, isn't it? I mean, there's so many people doing sort of new content reviews and stuff like that. Like it literally is the first one that's posted. I usually catch that.
Oh, it's even, you can see it. Like Giannis is one of the most hyped players yesterday. My Giannis video has 10K views in 16 hours, which for me is the lowest viewed video yesterday. Even though it's most hyped player, just because I got there late. Simple as.
That was it. Jeez. DBG, it'd be great to talk to you about kind of your journey, because you've been doing this a long time, and obviously there's going to be a lot of sort of up and coming YouTubers and stuff watching this like today. The big video for you that broke was that Luca video just went through the roof, right? Like it just generated like a million views overnight, I think, from what I remember. Like just walk us through that. It'd be good for people watching to find out what happened.
Yeah, like that was a kind of mad one, because obviously, if you don't know, I have a second channel, B-Ball Daily, which I uploaded a ton to at one stage and was originally my biggest channel, or it was at one stage my biggest channel. But man, I just had to watch so much basketball for that channel that I just hated the sport. So I kind of, if I'm not watching basketball, I'm not going to make videos about basketball. But basically, I had about 20,000 subscribers on DBG, and I was like, you know what, I kind of want to make a basketball channel. So I made that channel. First few videos get like 1,000 views, and then like the day before the Luca video, a video had suddenly gone from like 1,000 to 30,000 views, which was kind of crazy. If you're on YouTube, sometimes you see something get picked on the algorithm, it just suddenly spikes up, even like weeks after it's been uploaded. So I realized then, I'm like, okay, normally when this happens, your next video is going to do really well. I didn't expect to happen with Luca. It was titled Luka Doncic is the best NBA prospect we've seen since LeBron James. And I upload, it gets like 2,000 views in the first hour, which is like more views than almost everything on my channel. So I'm like, okay, this video is going to do really well. I go to bed, I wake up, and I suddenly realize I've gained 3,000 subscribers. I'm like, what is going on? So I look at my real-time views, and it's just like nothing. Like a couple of hundred views an hour, 27,000 views in 1 hour, and it's like 20,000 views. The video's on like 300,000 or 200 something thousand views when I wake up, and I'm like, what has just happened?
Wow, that's dope. You still posting that channel, the sports channel?
No, it's
you don't that. Too much.
It might be back. It might be back.
It was a good take, wasn't it? It was a good take. I mean,
everyone in Europe knew how good Luka was going to be.
Yeah.
We all knew.
Yeah. That Real Madrid connection.
It's funny, those videos, unless they got millions of views, made no money. Like the amount, like that's another reason why I kind of stopped. Where it was like I'd be getting 7 million views in a month on B-Ball Daily and 1 million on DBG, and be making the same amount of money, and I'd be like not sleeping for days, so stressed about B-Ball Daily, thinking of ideas. Whereas DBG, I'm like, okay, 2K released these cards. These are the stats of the card.
Yeah. I mean, they are great for that, isn't it? The constant content just keeps you going. Like, how do you feel about that this year? Like, how do you feel about the content and how it's sort of translated to YouTube content?
I mean, for YouTube, obviously it's great. And I think even for the perspective of a player, like the type of players, like, you know, the way people talk about, oh yeah, the glory days of 2K in previous years when there was like less content. Yeah. I think that the way it was then definitely suited more the people that just wanted to pick up the game, play it maybe 2 hours a week, and just have a little bit of fun with their friends. Whereas now, the constant stream of content means there's always something for people to do. I think that's just even the thing with video games now in general, is that people are always looking for things to do rather than just play the game. And I think 2K have done a really good job of that. Like, no matter what you want to do, whether you want to grind XP, if you want to do domination, you want to do spotlight sims, you want to play TT offline, you want to play unlimited.
Yeah.
You want to use budget cards, you want to use your favorite players, you want to use fun players, you want to try to get the best team. There's something for everybody in MyTeam. And Like, huge shout out to the devs, huge shout out to Sam, huge shout out to Mike Stauffer, and just everyone involved over 2K, because while, yeah, the gameplay is obviously flawed, I think no one's going to argue that. I think in terms of things to do, especially from my perspective, the ability to make content, a lot of it is what they put into the game. So I'm a big fan of it, but I understand why some people aren't a big fan. Like, if someone wants to argue that Hakeem shouldn't be shooting limitless threes, you know what? They have a point.
Yeah. Yeah, it has picked up. The content's picked up really quick. Like, we were talking about this last week where we were talking about sort of T-Mac, LeBron, this Jordan's out now. And with the kind of whole thing where you could add badges and basically boost the card to, a dark matter tier now, like, we kind of feel like we're looking at end game cards now. We're probably going to end up with the 99 everything cards right at the end of the season. But what do we get between now and August? Like, what does that look like?
So I think the only difference between it, if we look at last year we were getting 40 Hall of Fame bad cards at this stage of the year. So I don't think we're quite at last year's level,
right?
In terms of the cards. Like, there were legitimately 40 Hall of Fame badges. The Kawhi Leonard 98 overall last year that came out a week from now is better than the reward card we have.
Yeah, right. I remember him. Small forward, power forward, right?
Power forward, small forward.
Yeah, oh, looking 4-3. Okay.
Yeah, so that meant basically when you see somebody that's evidently not a power forward and their primary position is power forward, you know that the only reason they're there is because 2K can't lower their overall enough to keep them at that tier in their actual position.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That card was pretty good.
It's happened with LeBron, Melo this year, and maybe there's more. But it happened last year with like Kawhi, Paul Pierce, and stuff. But the top tier cards were actually better in 2K20 than they are now. It's just we have so many of the like right below top tier. Right. Like, for example, T-Mac came out in February, the Opal T-Mac last year, and I can guarantee you that card is going to be better than anything we see this month. But say, for example, like Dentist, Kawhi, there's like 20 cards that are like viable this year, whereas last year there was about 3 cards that were viable. There's just so many good mid-tier cards that people have been like, we're in so many good cards, but if you look at the top tier cards, that were way better last year. Like that T-Mac last year, the one we got before Christmas, is not the leap year one, the Pink Time Prime T-Mac. That card is still better than the Opal T-Mac we got this year.
Damn.
We should definitely talk about the Dentist. How many games have you played?
You don't want to mention it like he was a dentist to the community. I swear I didn't even know that. I'm like, dentist, what the hell is that?
Yeah. My crowning achievement is the fact that, so like if you know about like 2KDB, it's just like a database site, so they don't really make anything up. So Kerry Dishinger, his nickname in 2K is now the Dentist. So like if you put nicknames in the back of your jersey, the Dentist is written on his jersey. And that is me. I'm taking full credit for that. Because I was like looking him up what he did, and I was like, obviously he was so good, and I was like, imagine going into 200, imagine getting 50 dropped on you by a dentist. Like, like the fact that like that's one of my crown achievements. The fact that he's now known as the fact that we managed to call him the Dentist, and then the fact that the best thing is that the lawyer came out right.
The lawyer, yeah, we got that. DBG, your influence over I think the community and 2K like is really really obvious, right? I'm sure you're aware of it as well. Like, Josh was literally saying yesterday he was trying to pick up Lonzo, and he literally called me and said DBG's released a video on Lonzo saying how good he is and how his price is going to go through the roof.
Yeah, but it didn't. Thank God.
No, there's too many. No matter what you say on the day a card is released, there's too many of them on the market for anything I say to make a difference. Yeah, if I want to say in 2 weeks' time when the card gets rare that Lonzo's the best point guard in the game, then it's going to spike, not yesterday.
Yeah. Can you think of any like really extreme examples of like when you kind of spoke about a card that you think really shifted the price and popularity of that card? Is there any like really obvious ones that stand out?
Yes, and it was the funniest thing ever. So basically I made a video. Basically Dynamic Duo Packs came out last year. Turns out they were glitched, so just random stuff was coming out of them. Yeah. But Rashard Lewis, this happened twice. So Rashard Lewis was in Dynamic Duo Packs, and so was Jimmy Butler, and so was Shaq. So Rashard Lewis was like 2 million MT or something. So I assumed that there was going to be a bunch of Rashard Lewises, and then because he was in Super Packs, Chris Webber was going to spike up in price. So I invested in a load of Chris Webbers. So I literally just said it. I was like, I've bought a bunch of Chris Webbers because I think with duo packs, Rashard Lewis is going to be a lot less rare. So we're going to see a lot more Rashard Lewis's.
Right.
Within 5 minutes of that video coming up, being up, Chris Webber had gone from 50K to 300K.
What the hell?
And the worst was one of my tweets. The same thing happened with Bosch. Bosch was in some super packs. And it was the lock-in for Taco Fall. And this was in like March. So people were still kind of looking for Taco Fall. It was before the fan favorites one came out. So Zion Williamson was the only card that wasn't in the super packs. So I tweeted out, I would buy Ruby Zion Williamson if I were you guys. Purely because I was like, you know what? People are going to spike up his price. I thought, you know what? I said in a video when I was talking about the packs, I was like, he was like 6K. I was like, oh, he's probably going to go to like 10, 15K. These people are going to want Taco Fall. After I tweeted it, before I even released the video, it was 45K. And I'm like, okay, I thought he was going to go up a little bit. Even, I didn't think people were that dumb. Like, it's like in my market crash videos. I'll have in my title, warning, market crash is happening. Do not sell your cards. So everyone sells their cards and blames me. I'm like, it's in the title. I say it in the video. The whole video is about not selling your cards. Do not blame me because you sold your cards.
I'm pretty sure we got a market crash video coming up soon, right? I'm pretty sure you got that coming up soon.
No,
there's definitely gonna be one.
The market will not crash after 250K. That is the market.
You guys heard that? You look.
It will not crash after 250K.
He said it. The man said it. It will not crash.
We'll put it in the title of the podcast. Let's see.
Yeah, whenever I see your video pop up, whenever I see that your warning, I know the market's gonna crash. So.
But it's like I remember some of the times where it's just like I put a video. I'm like, the market's already crashed. Just don't sell your cards.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Or warning people like, don't have too much MT tied up in your cards because we're going to just keep getting better and better cards. This was right before the Dentist came out. And the Dentist was like the catalyst for like the Ultra Juice cards.
Yeah.
The day before I make a video being like, make sure you don't like overspend on players now. Because 2K, in a month's time, 2K is going to keep outdoing themselves. Like 30 minutes later, there's forum posts about me. There's being like, this guy DBG is an idiot. Don't listen to him. Like, he was like, don't listen to him. Don't panic sell. I'm like, I told you not to panic sell. You're simultaneously saying, don't listen to me while telling people to do exactly what I told them to do. I'm like, that does not make sense. You're like, don't listen to DBG, but actually do what he said.
Do you think the market is going to be up for now until the super pack drop?
I don't know. Honestly, it all depends on what cards they put out. Like, it's hard to tell. Like, no one predicted the Inferno packs were coming. First of all, no one predicted Dentist was coming, and then 2 days later, the Inferno packs were coming. And no one could have predicted the market to have crashed like it did from that Tuesday to that Friday. Like, Granger went from 180K to 70K in 3 days. Like, we can't. Like, no one can predict that. Normally, the market crashes when people start predicting the market's going to crash. So.
Yeah, when some,
talking about when the market might
they start fire selling, like people are heavily influenced. Speaking of dynamic duos, like we have to talk about this before this ends. Your friendship with Ty is kind of one of the coolest things in the 2K community right now. I think watching you guys interact with each other, your takes, him constantly telling you to relax, like it makes me laugh. How did that come about?
So, in terms of the YouTube thing. Honestly, it was a case of I'd be like saying a bunch, like obviously there's stuff do you want like the two of us on YouTube or?
Yeah, just tell us the background.
Okay, so I basically there was like no competitive MyTeam scene at all back in like 2K18 and stuff. And 2K19 started a little bit, but I ran a MyTeam page called MyTeam Ranker, MTR. That was started off literally me bored in LA by myself, nothing to do. And I wanted to shit stare, so I just ranked the best MyTeam players in the world. Didn't even know any of them was posted.
As a strong take,
and I was like, you know what? I might run a tournament to see who's actually good and take it somewhat seriously. But basically, Ty won everything in 2K19. And then he lost like one game, and it was like, all the like competitive players that have been there for years, because Ty was this like new guy, were making every excuse in the book to like kind of downplay everything with Ty. So I was just like, you know
killing
what?
Since 19?
Ty?
He was killing since 19? I thought 20.
Yeah. Oh no,
before
he showed up.
yeah.
He showed up in like May of 2K19. No one had heard of him, and then he won every tournament. Didn't lose a game. Like,
Oh, robot? What? Oh my god.
So basically, like obviously running that page, and I was looking at it, like I didn't even realize just how much people in the competitive scene care about the kind of perception of everything, and just it's almost like an ego for being good at the game. I didn't realize how much of that there was. So I was just looking at it being like, you know what, let's make Ty look like he's the final boss. So that if somebody beats him, obviously it's a big deal. More people are going to be watching it. And like, I didn't even realize I was putting a target on Ty as well. Like, in general, in life, in marketing, it was in marketing wise, it was a great idea. In terms of, I didn't know these guys in 2K community. I didn't realize the way they were going to take things. I've seen some of the stuff since then. I'm like, yeah, I definitely put a target on his back.
Oh yeah, he had a big target on his back.
Yeah, that's the way like I started to know Ty. And then obviously global championships and stuff happened. I'd be like in his streams looking to get better. I think I messaged him right after the global championship, something like, and if anyone's been ever talking to me about YouTube, like I'll say something similar. I'll always give kind of similar advice. I literally messaged Ty after global championship being like, first of all, congrats. Second of all, don't be dumb and do what Skip did after 250k and not use this momentum. Make content and you'll make more than 100k off YouTube than you did from that. And then just left it there.
Yeah. I mean, he's spoken about it as well. The kind of influence you had over it. It's really cool. DBG, we're running out of time. Like really close to running out of time. I got one more question for you. Out of all the content we've got this year, who would be your ultimate fan favorites card at the end of the year?
I don't know. My whole thing is, who can I make the funniest video about?
A cleaner. We need some other random...
Alexei Pokashevsky.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
Have you seen his player building game?
You love that guy.
It is the funniest player building game. The guy has got like the longest neck, the smallest head, the skinniest arms, the broadest body. Like, it's the funniest player building game. Alexei Pokashevsky, no question.
That's from the rookie.
No question, Pokashevsky.
That's from the rookie spotlight. That's the rookie spotlight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He is a silver card as well. The funniest player building game. He needs a dark matter.
That would be nuts.
Pro 2.
Yeah, DBG, we've got retro cards now as well. Cool idea, right? I think unanimously everyone thinks this is a great idea.
Oh, I'm so happy.
What cards do you want to see?
I mean, we've already got the Holy Trinity of Rubies. I'm trying to think who's like Dragon Bender's iconic. Emerald Dragon Bender, who's going to have to be like a Ruby or an Amethyst. Amethyst is iconic.
From 18.
From 18, yeah.
I like that Drew Holiday from 18 too. He was really good.
I don't remember Drew Holiday from 18. He probably was, because Drew Holiday's so good this year as well. So I would love another Drew Holiday card.
Yeah.
What other iconic cards do you guys have actually?
Do you remember when they dropped the locker code for that 99 Pink Diamond Kevin Durant? He was just so good. Remember, like it was like limited locker codes in 18, and like you had a chance to get that Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
He was really good. Yeah, I think that card was good.
Yeah.
How funny would it be?
I'd like to see some 2K14. We need some 2K14, some real throwback.
James Harden Sapphire.
Yeah, like those ones. That'd be pretty cool.
How funny would it be if they dropped the LeBron Christmas locker code release?
That would be the best thing ever. That would be. And do not drop it in packs. 2K, I know I've seen Sam comment on one of his videos before. Please drop it as like a retro locker code card. It doesn't have to be good. Do it like later on in the year when pink diamonds are irrelevant. Make it the same as the possessed pink diamond. It doesn't have to be good. Just please, when you're doing retro volume 3, drop in a not very good pink diamond LeBron James locker code alongside the set. Please, it would be the best thing all year. That would be the best thing that could happen. That would be so good.
Take it back 3 days later. I think it would be great.
Take it back like more like 30 minutes later. I played one
Christmas.
game with him. I'm like,
that was the best.
Wonderful.
That was the most iconic part of it, was that they sent someone back into work on Christmas. And this was before working from home and everything. They actually sent a developer into work on Christmas to take away everyone's LeBrons.
That is so mean.
You got a new series, DBG. You've got the MyTeam for free series. I think it's a really cool idea. I think it's more interesting because you're doing it, because you're not grinding for the XP rewards and stuff like that. We're kind of getting to see all the kind of peripheral free cards be used. Well, what's the idea behind that?
I was doing it in FIFA because there's a lot of really good objective cards in FIFA.
Yeah.
Like that was the original plan, to do it in FIFA. I got one episode in and said, you know what, I'm 2K is taking up too much of my time right now. I don't really have time for FIFA anymore. And I was like, why not? I already have the thumbnail made. I have the idea. Why not just do it for 2K?
Yeah.
And I was also about to get Brad Davis, so I was like, why not?
Yeah, you're high on that card. No one's really talking about him.
So good. He's so good.
Spotlights. Spotlights card.
He gets like hot clamps and everything. It's like a great card.
I can't even be bothered with spotlights this season, man. It's like every time the reward is just terrible. Well, Rayford Olsen was the only decent one in my opinion. Vlade Divac, I don't know if that was a joke or something, but
it was because everyone got Baron Davis after they got Vlade.
He was terrible. Baron Davis was terrible.
He wasn't.
Pretty OP defensively.
He was good.
Yeah.
I didn't like that card. He played he got it done when I did my total runs, but there'll be time. I feel like as a Galaxy Open, we gotta have more hot zones than that. And then steady shooter, come on, bro, why?
What's wrong with steady shooter?
Well, I don't have a next gen, so blinders I can't use, but steady shooter on this game, I missed some shots I should not be missing in this game.
Steady shooter makes almost no difference on current gen. You might miss one shot extra a game.
Yeah.
I missed a lot of weights with Baron Davis, especially in hot zones.
You're probably gonna miss those whites anyway.
Shade on.
Just green. Simple. Just have you not seen Splash with John Stockton, steady shooter?
Oh, that's Chicken Man. No, that's the Chicken Man. I can't.
But if Splash can green every single shot with John Stockton steady, doesn't make a difference.
Wait, John Stockton got steady?
Yeah, gold steady.
Yeah.
Nobody notices that. Every card that shoots the ball at the start of the year has steady shooter. Alan Houston has steady shooter, and everyone hit every shot with him. Whoa, this year, steady makes almost no difference. It's people mistiming and an excuse more than anything.
I used to agree with John Stockton. Maybe I just wasn't good with the card then, but
exactly. That's a perfect point. Not everyone is good with every card. I will say that. Not everyone is good with every release. And a lot of people aren't good with Dame release. It's like Walt Frazier. I love Frazier release. Most people hate it. Not everyone's good with every release. Here, probably just not good at all with Baron Davis release, which is.
I wanted him to have Showtime dunks too. That was something I was looking for. To have Hall of Fame Showtime and not no, it's kind of a waste. That's something I did look forward to with that card.
That's kind of pointless. But one good thing is though on next gen is that it's Hall of Fame posterizer, and normal dunks get blocked less than flashy dunks. So he just dunks it on everybody. He's unbelievable on next gen, by the way, Baron Davis.
Yeah.
When I get my hand on PS5, I'll check it out.
DBG, have you ever had a take that you've regretted?
What do you mean by take in game?
Just on a card, or just on a card mainly. Have you ever got out there and just said I love this card and then immediately gone, I was wrong?
I said I hated a bunch of cards last year that had the Pro A crossover until I realized that the Pro A crossover you can just spam it up the floor and glitch through people's bodies.
Yeah. So then some cards became more OP. With the gameplay, what do you want to see from it? Generally speaking, people are quite down on the gameplay. How do you think it can be improved? Do you think the 2K community will ever be satisfied as well with how the gameplay is? Yeah.
No, we go through a cycle every year. We play the game for a year, we complain about the game for a year, and then the new game comes out. We spend the first week talking about how much better it is and how really great it is. And then we proceed to complain about that game for the next year while simultaneously saying, last year was great, wasn't it? Even after complaining about it for a year. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. We'll complain about the game for an entire year and then say at the end of the year, last year was better.
Yeah. It's
We
like
have
it's like the
people
cult.
say-
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
we
cult
have
like
people
216, 2K16, 17. People really think that game was the greatest game in 2K history, and I'm like, bro, no way.
Have you ever
Those
watched
games weren't that
people?
good.
Have you ever watched people playing 2K16? It's exactly what they're saying about the game now. This game's so bad. Why are people shooting from the halfway line? This game sucks. Steph Curry's unstoppable. He's too much. He's like,
It's just
people are
relevant
just
to what you
zigzagging.
do,
This
isn't
game
it?
takes no skill.
If you can shoot
Deep-
from the halfway line, then you're all for it. If you can't, then
I
you
mean, he
don't want
does,
it.
but
It's just relevant
he
to how
does
you
it in
play the
real
game.
life. That's how Curry is in real life, though.
That's
Like,
true.
it's not like it's false. He takes
Yeah.
those shots in real life.
Not every possession though. Not-
Yeah.
Do you think we're
But,
going to see a competitor at some point? You think you're going to come
Sorry.
back? Do you think we'll see a competitor to 2K?
I hope we do. I hope we see NBA. Agent made the video, and it's very similar to what I'd say. NBA Live Online.
Yeah.
Make like my player have two modes. My player, Ultimate Team. Ultimate Team basically make it like it's FIFA. A couple of challenges for free players, but people buying packs. My player, you can buy like cosmetic stuff, and you have to grind your player up. I think they're not losing any gate revenue. Nobody's buying the game anyway for NBA Live. Their devs are still there. Their devs are working on something because they're there. They signed Scott O'Gallagher, so there will be another NBA something from EA soon.
Yeah.
And if they just release it free, they have those 2 game modes, and then like a $10 rosters expansion pack, which almost everyone would buy. Almost everyone would buy and expand if they have a free game they're playing. Pay $10 to get the rosters of every NBA player.
Yeah.
And then they can do something like that. And that's
Like
the
a
only
season
way I see
pass.
anything compete with 2K. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
exactly.
only way I see anyone compete.
Yeah.
Because-
I think if they do that, they'll like 2K would like, because the game is obviously flawed. Do you feel like they'll step up certain things? Like, how do you feel about the speed burst in the game? What's your take on it? Do you think it's a skill thing, or is it like it's a joke? What is it?
If you've initially, I thought, you know what, it's not that bad, and then I played a little bit of Pro-Am, and I played against this guy from England named Gunnar. He was in the first season of 2K League. He was arguably the best point guard in the world on current gen. But he's there glitching from one side of the floor to the other. No one has a clue what to do. No one can even see him half the time. He's just like, it's almost like he's teleporting, and you're just like, we're triple teaming him on Pro-Am. We're like, we actually can't stop this guy. He's just boosting everywhere. Like, when you're playing against someone that really knows what they're doing with the burst, it is the most broken mechanic in the history of MyTeam. It's worse than the behind the back.
It makes me so angry, man.
At least you could hedge hard in the behind the back. And if the person didn't know what they were doing with passing, you get a bump steal. You can't stop the burst. They just burst into space.
Biggest problem with it is that if anyone who's on there that knows how to like dribble good airs, like real good, it's like a cheat code because they can do combos and then speed boost, combo, speed boost. Like, it's
You
scary.
ever heard of Anger? You ever heard of Anger, DB? DBG, Anger G, Jay-Z or no?
No.
He played
No,
tight.
he played. Yeah, I think he did play Ty like last week in the stream. That's literally his offense. And when I tell you, I was on the verge of like just breaking this controller. Oh my gosh, it's so aged. Like I can't believe it. I don't know how to stop it. I really don't. I'm not even gonna lie.
Like, you can't. The only way you can stop it is by trying to predict. And if you predict and get to the spot before their burst, they'll just curry slide into space and have a wide open limitless 3. It's like,
Yeah.
God, you can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, 90% of games is literally just speed bursting and curry sliding. That is the entire gameplay at the moment for anyone who knows what they're doing. Occasional peekaboo, that's it. Outside of that, there's nothing else really happening.
If they patch the fades on next gen, I think next gen is the best 2K gameplay wise we've seen in a long time. Like, it plays kind of slower, but it only plays slow to the people that are used to like moving around the floor on current gen.
Yeah.
It's only
when I came back to current gen, and I'm not kidding. These players feel like race cars.
Oh
to the
yeah,
next gen.
like,
That's crazy.
going up and down the floor in half a second, like playing NASCAR. Like, it's slow to those people, but if you go back to like a 2K15, it's no slower than that game. Like,
yeah, it definitely needs to slow down. The pace it's been way too high on the game for a couple of years. Yeah.
oh, it's
Yeah,
just
you play someone like Ty. You play someone like Ty, and his players are like moving. Oh, that's why his defense is insane on current gen because
It's so
he can
I'd be
really
so scared
move.
to pass, man.
Yeah.
He
like,
sees everything in
everywhere.
slow motion though, doesn't he? Like he's got like next level superpowers. I don't know. I don't know
Like
what's-
I think that's the biggest thing when people are talking about the movement is bad on next gen, is that they're so used to basically teleporting around the floor, moving like they're the fastest people in history around the floor with all these demigods that they're like, oh, movement's really bad next gen. It's like they're like foot planting. The way the players move is genuinely better. They're just people are just so used to this souped up ultra speed NBA Jam type movement of current gen.
I love that game.
Yeah, they can't go back down. They can't go back to normal pace. If you play Play Now in like 2K20, it was the same thing. People are like, oh, Play Now sucks, it's too slow. And it's like, no, everyone's just used to running demigods. Whether it's Park, whether it's MyTeam, everyone's just used to running demigods.
Do you think because next gen is? I think that's again general consensus. I think people think next gen gameplay is probably the best we've seen in a while. Do you think that bodes well for 22? Do you think we're going to get a kind of a similar game, or do you think we're going to get an overhaul? Because it's basically current, isn't it, at the moment?
I don't know. Because 2K19 was the best we've seen in a long time. And then 2K20. As much as people like to say 2K20 was good gameplay-wise now, we got to look back to where we were a year ago.
No one was saying it at the time.
No,
2K20 sucked.
No,
Like,
I went on it literally a few days ago. You see how like this greening is like nothing like you green every possession. I literally greened, like haven't played this game in months. I greened like 7 shots back to back. I was like, there was no way shooting was this easy. There's just no way.
It's shooting on next gen is similar to 20 shooting. It's very similar.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta get me a P5.
You can green real easy. 2K20 was just horrible. Like so, like my experience at Globals, I'd never played people. I didn't even know about like post hooking and how OP it was, and like that's like how people were just destroying. Like, and then I watched was a Mouse Cry thing, like his post. Wow, like that was like next level. You can't even do anything about it.
No,
2K20 was bad.
Like at the time, we were actually arguing 2K20 was worse than 18. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that. It was a legitimate argument. And now because the views are down on 2K21, the Park community are like, 2K20 was so great. We didn't know what we had till we lost it. No, 2K20 sucked. 2K20 sucked. Let's call a spade a spade. 2K20 sucked. 2K19 was, I think 2K19 might be the best 2K we've seen ever. I think you could make that argument.
Yeah,
apart from the,
it's interesting you bring up the views thing. Like 2K20 definitely popped for views, right? Especially in the last sort of
because of COVID.
Right, that's
the game was good.
I've asked a few people this. A lot of people think it's not relevant. I'm like, it's. I started playing the game because of that.
COVID is why views spiked. Views are lower this year because one, COVID didn't happen, and two, not everybody has the consoles. Like when the viewers are split between 2 consoles, people don't know what to watch. So people that have next gen want to watch next gen. People that have current gen want to watch current gen. And that's the problem when people are like, it wasn't the case in 2K14 because there was no shortage of consoles. Anyone who wanted a PS4 had a PS4. There was no pandemic. There was
it this bad? To get one, was it this bad?
Nowhere near. Like everyone who wanted one had one, basically.
Yeah.
And it was, and not only that, we weren't going in the middle of like a pandemic, a crisis where a lot of people don't have a lot of money. Like it's not the same logic, and it's just flawed logic. If the logic was, oh, the gameplay is bad, so views are down, views would be way down on MyTeam from where they were on other years. But no, because MyTeam is the same on both systems. The views are up for everybody. Like,
yeah. I think it's also seasonal, right? Like towards the end of the year, it just tends to pick up.
I have a question, DBG. So you see, like when you play next gen, like me before like 20, because I never really wanted to play competitively until 20. I got tired of losing. But at 19, I used to do like, I'd run like offense, like a 2K sim kind of style of offense. You know, I always have plays being called and stuff like that. Do you think that's something I can get away with doing on next gen? Or is that just like this 5 hours just still the meta for the game?
I mean, you can get away with any play style on any gen. Like Jomar ran plays and he won 250k last year. Mr. Hollywood qualified 2 years in a row running plays. Like no matter what your play style is, if you're good at it, you're gonna be good. Like it's more of a case of the player. Like if you're gonna run the Miami Heat playbook and run that same run off one screen, wait for someone and hit the shooter every single time, you're going to lose most of your games.
Yeah.
But if you have 4 or 5 plays in the playbook, you know all the options off them, you know ways of scoring the game and play good defense, there's no reason why you can't win games. Like RCA the Great is a prime example of that. The guy barely loses on either gen, and he runs non-meta players half the time, runs all his playbooks, but he knows his playbooks in and out. Like running plays is about knowing what they are rather than just knowing a play. It's why I think the Miami Heat playbook's the worst playbook in the game.
I mean, it was ridiculous last year. I mean, literally, you load into a game, 4 horns flare immediately. Like, yeah. I mean, everyone was running it.
It's because everyone was like calling it this ultra money play. As soon as a money playbook video gets 100,000 views, it's automatically worthless because everybody knows what play is coming. Like, if you see somebody pass the ball to their center on the wing, you know for a fact he's coming off a flare screen. You know what's happening. Just switch your players, get in the lane, and you're throwing the ball into the hands. Like, every play, and then it's like there's no such thing as a good or a bad playbook either. Every playbook has plays that are going to get people open, and it's just knowing what all the plays are, knowing what are the options, and just the person's ability at the game.
So you think like certain playbooks should be catered to like a certain lineup? Let's say somebody has, I'm not going to name it out lineup. Let's say like I have somebody like Alonzo at my 1 and like a Hakeem at the 5. You think there's like specific playbooks that'd be good for a team like that, basically?
Yeah, I think like there definitely is. Obviously, I don't know any of them, but like surely there's a play that we don't know where it's something like the ball gets passed to the wing and a center sets a back screen for the point guard to post up or something, which all of a sudden, if you're running and then the center spots up for 3. If you're running Magic Johnson, all of a sudden you've got the post up and a guaranteed. Obviously, you're saying Lonzo, but like just a specific scenario. If you want to post up point guard and you're a little guy to get that guaranteed every single time. Yeah, I don't know what the play is called, but surely there is a play where that exists.
Yeah. A sneaky player that will do well in like 250k and stuff. If you mastered all the plays from every playbook and you could just switch it up all the time, like, do you know how deadly you would be? Like, no one would be able to know what play you're even running, and you could run every play, and it doesn't matter. You could just change it up. Like, that would be deadly.
Like the meta, I think changes a lot. All it takes is one person being really good with plays and having some sort of a voice in MyTeam for everyone to be running plays again.
I wanted to do that. Like, I used to watch, I don't know if you remember him, 2K Kingslayer. Around like 19, he used to make a lot of
his
videos.
tutorials were great.
I used to love it. And like something he did to learn the playbook, he'd say like, you got the Kings playbook. He let the plays run, just do it for a couple games. And like after time, you learn some of the plays. So there was a time where I was doing that. I think there's like 3-4 plays from that Kings playbook. And I was actually like, getting some buckets, getting stops. And I think that's when I think 12-0 was introduced in 19. And I literally did not play like off defense or like lanes or anything. I like just straight up man and running plays. And I went 11-0. And in my 12th game, I played somebody really good. And I'm like, I want to be able to, play like that again. I feel like that's more fun, having everybody involved and, score some type of way instead of just 5 out and with my point guard and head kick to the shooters was open.
Oh, like 100% you can't play that way. Especially on next gen, you got to play a little bit of on-ball because the defensive on-ball AI is nowhere near as good. Like if you try to sit in the paint, you literally walk. If someone sits on the paint on you and you've got gold range on your point guard next gen, you walk into a spot on gold range and shoot a wide open 3 every time. They actually have to kind of on-ball the card because the AI gives too much space no matter what settings you put on. But
was there anything more frustrating last season than someone running quick through STS against you in a online game? Did that ever happen to you?
It was hilarious.
Yeah, every time someone did it, I'm like, did that actually just happen in an online game? I just let that happen.
Quick through STS was such a good play online, and people didn't realize it. Like, if you ran quick through STS and 90% of the time you passed to the wing, you wouldn't hit the cutter. The cutter would cut through, and you'd get a pick and roll with some of the best spacing in the game, with like perfect isolation on one side of the floor, pick and roll. The lob's open like 90% of the time because everybody doesn't know what to do after 5 seconds of defense.
Yeah. I love how the first month of this year, like the entire online community was like searching for the new quick through SDS and then just gave up on it in the end because none of it was as effective. Like,
yeah, but I just think it's going to be the case of if Jomar, who ran a lot of plays, if somebody that is like a complete play runner blows up on YouTube and also starts winning competitive tournaments, Like the reason why baiting lanes and running became so popular was because Ty is winning everything doing it, and Ty is like a big name. Like nobody, like bait lanes was a thing. People played off ball, but they didn't do it to the extent that it's done now. Until really this time last year.
He's the king of rotations. Rotations was I never heard of anybody say rotations before him.
Yeah.
He literally.
Yeah, like baiting lanes used to literally be you would off ball on like the wing and you would like pretend to make them pass the ball into a certain position and you'd try to get a steal. Like YBC was the original bait player. He basically invented bait defense back in like 17. And he'd be like trying to like fake you throwing passes, and he'd be like trying to almost bait you into a pass. Like he'd make it look like a player was wide open, and then he'd know he'd get in the lanes. But the way they play defense now, it's like 5 players like on a string. They're rotating everywhere, running between players, karate chopping lanes. Like it's different level.
Like
I think it'll just
definitely levels, because like a lot of people online try to be baby ties. I'm not gonna lie, I try to be in the lanes.
Everyone,
and when I tell you
right now,
playing like versus like the competitors, and then like I played Ty once, yo, I was so scared to pass the ball. It's like I'm coming up the court. I'm like, who do I give it to? I'm like, I know he's not open. I'm not gonna throw it.
You don't pass the ball against those guys.
He double teamed me. Like that's the thing. I made sure that he starts throwing doubles. I'm like, oh my god, Ty, give me a break, yo.
You know what you do against those guys? You dribble the ball up the floor with like your center or something, or something like that, or just get past the halfway line, hold L2, and make his double come to the halfway line. So that there's too much space on the floor for him to make all his rotations. Someone's going to be open.
You just give me a game? You give me a game? Look, I might qualify to you down. Look,
I mean, like,
if you guys... you're going to be doing nothing but that. Yeah.
Like, if you guys watch me playing, I played a game against Panda Wings, 250k qualifier. Like, he's not Ty's level. Like, he'll say it himself, he's not Ty's level. But he's a really good bait defensive player. He's competitive in EU scene. He's competitive, MyTeam, like, over here. I reckon he'll be competitive if there's no delay in his first 250k game, unless he plays against like a Splash or an MJ's.
Are they playing today? Do they plan on playing today?
Ty is, Isaac is. I don't think Splash is, but I won that game by calling 1-2 pick and rolls, and he couldn't bait it because my 2 guard was sprinting towards the ball, so it's impossible to bait that lane because the AI wasn't there. I was either hitting the 2 guard, and because he was whatever way he was switching and just going to the basket, or hitting the 2 guard, my center would dive out of the basket, or a 1-2 pick and roll, which is unguardable with baiting lanes because you can just throw lobs. And
I love how your shooting guard and your center were Petrie and Sabonis as well. It's not like you were running. Like,
like I was running the guy had all the best players in the game, and I was out here running with Sabonis. We can't forget that.
I think that would make me even more frustrated. Like I'm trying to bait somebody. I'm like, yo, he has Petrie and Sabonis. Like I can't get him baited. Like that's something that's actually a weakness to like bait defense, like patient players. Because like when I try to bait people and like it threw me off. Like last qualifier, I'm playing this dude and he's not like he's just taking his time. I put him in a press. I'm like, yo, what do I do, bro? Like, I tried everything. But patient play is definitely tough,
if you watch the likes of Ty and Isaac, the only games or 90% of the games that they're close in are against guys that aren't very good at the game.
Because they can't predict them, right?
Like, yeah. They don't predict them. If you don't know what... I'll always say is like, if you're playing against someone who's a bum, you can't predict what they're going to do. Like you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make this rotation because this is the pass a normal person would throw. And they suddenly throw a dot into the opposite corner that no one in their right mind would ever throw.
Because they don't know what they're doing themselves. They're like, just gonna pass.
Yeah.
Open.
Yeah,
so you can't
all the
predict
the guy just walking up the middle of the court straight to the basket.
Like that's how you used to beat zone. Like, if you guys don't know, this is how if somebody's baiting a zone 2-3 zone, this is how you beat the zone defense. You walk straight down the middle. You dribble the ball, holding L2, and wait until, because one of the players that they're not controlling automatically baits a lane. Wait until they dive in the lane expecting you to pass, and you have a wide open limitless 3. You don't pass, you don't do anything, you call 5 out, and you stand there. Just wait. Be patient enough, and eventually they're going to be jumpy. Press square, dive into a lane that's non-existent, and you have a wide open 3, and there's nothing they can do about it. If you like. People had all these like mad ways of beating zones. You stand there. Or like on next gen, you 4 out 1 in, you throw the ball to your big man. and you're what? And the opposite wing drops in, you have a wide open 3-point shot. Like,
It collapses
so many
all the
things
time.
like that.
I'm writing
Yeah,
all of this
no.
down.
Yeah, I'm taking notes. Yeah, I'm gonna look back at this podcast. I'm gonna definitely come back
Like,
to
there's
this.
so many people overcomplicate so many things. Where it's like, especially in the competitive scene, like there's a reason why the likes of Ty and Isaac are next level. And like, I'll say this, like, if you're not at that level, you're not gonna beat them by playing like a worse version of them. Like, they're zigging, you gotta zag.
Yeah.
It's like, if you've ever seen, it's like, say, when teams like Spain or France, or actually, if you looked at the FIBA World Cup in basketball, like, I think, who beat USA? Serbia beat USA, France beat USA, Turkey nearly beat them. By, like, slowing the game down, playing their own style. Like, they're never going to beat America playing fast-paced basketball, trying to outrun and gun them. You got to play a different style. It's like in basketball. If you've got a bunch of unathletic dudes who are good shooters, you're not going to win a game by running up and down and trying to dunk on everybody against a team full of athletes. Like, and people don't realize that in 2K is that if you're trying to play like the best players in the world against the best players in the world and you're just simply not as good, you've lost 100% of the time. You got to play a tactic to throw them off. Because if you throw them off, a lot of the time,
My whole mindset.
they can't adapt.
You just
They
changed
can't
my whole
adapt.
mindset on this game, man. You made me think about things differently. I think I might go back to my 2K Kingsley ways. Just qualify some plays. See how that does.
There's difference between people that can win a bunch of games in Unlimited and like compete competitively. Like, I'll lose against some dude in an Unlimited game because I'm trying to play fast, just get it over with. And I'll play the same guy in a tournament and beat him by 40. Because if anyone's ever watched me play tournament games, like even last year in MyTeam Madness, I lost in like the EU final of MyTeam Madness.
Mm-hmm.
I think, do you know Wooly, do you?
Well,
Yeah.
I think he ended up beating the guy who won EU. It was like EU and Australia. It just didn't work out. But I lost in the EU final in game 3, throwing lobs every possession of the game in 2K20 because he didn't expect it. He was expecting the same dribble glitch, deep hash, and all I did was throw lobs.
Awesome. DBG, we've gone into like triple overtime here. It was totally worth it. Like, it's not often we're going to get to speak to someone like yourself. Thank you so much for coming on, man. We really, really appreciate it. I'm sure.
Wait, quick one. Who are you predicting winning 250K?
We don't know that.
The top three choices.
Okay. I'm gonna say it's hard. It's hard to bet against Ty and not put him in one of the top 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have said Cry Mouse if he didn't get DQ'd.
Yeah.
It's hard to even say Splash because he's been screwed by delay the last 2 years. And the way Splash plays, if he gets delayed, he's not. He'll even say it himself. If he gets delayed, he's probably not going to win. And then we need to see what form make it through this one because Jin sadly hasn't qualified yet, and you can't really bet against him. So I'm going to say Ty, Splash, and I'm going to throw a curveball. I'm going to say Newman. I have a weird feeling that like he might get a run. Newman might get a run. Newman's
That's not Xbox.
On Xbox. I think more than likely someone from Xbox is going to win the PS4. That's my prediction. The Xbox is going to win.
Cool. All right, guys. Yeah, we got to wrap it up. DBG, thank you so much, man. We'll definitely do this again soon. Yeah, we'll definitely do it again soon if you're up for that.
No worries. Good being on.
Absolutely, man. It's been a blast. Take care.
Well, there was like meeting another hero. That was awesome. Like DBG's cool dude. Like he speaks about the game in like a similar manner to like how I am. I feel like
Yeah.
the whole So against XP and stuff like that. Yeah, I feel the way he looks at it. I guess his way is because he has to make so much content. So I also get like his side of view. But like he has the same kind of like outlook on the whole game as me.
Yeah.
Where it's like
it's so amazing, man. It's just crazy, right, guys? Like I don't know if you feel the same way I do. The fact that we've had Simba on, we've had Space on, Moss came on, like. It's kind of crazy, right? Like that we've done 5 episodes of this, and like I've been watching these guys for years, and to get DBG on, it's just ridiculous, man, in the 5th episode. Just massive thank you to him for being that guy and everyone else we've had on, just for supporting us and what we're doing. Like, it's awesome. We've got a huge guest again next week, who's like the guy of the hour right now as well. Like, I won't drop any obvious hints like I have before, but he is the man of the moment next week. And we've also got a guest confirmed for the following week, which is another amazing guest. Like, it's just crazy. Like, all these guys, I've been watching them for years. A lot of these guys have got me through lockdown as well. Just with their content and things like that. They stopped me being bored, and it's never going to get any less weird. Like, they're talking to you and you can talk back. That's never going to get any less weird. Yeah. They've been talking to me for years. I'm never able to.
Come on, man. Like, when we first did our first episode, like, if you told me we'd have DBG on in like a few episodes, I would not believe it at all. I would not believe it at all. I honestly thought this was going to take a long time before we start getting some big names. Like, we've had the biggest names. Like, it's crazy.
Sure.
Literally.
Sure.
What in the world?
And equally, guys, like, everyone who's supporting us, like, subs have gone, crazy. Like, get the notifications on, please. Like, it's the best way you'll catch it as soon as it drops, so it's still relevant. But the amount of support we've got as well, like the messages we get, the comments we get, like, there's just so much love right now. I think this is a really cool thing we've created, and it's really pushing us to sort of keep doing it. Just so you know, it does take me 48 hours of my weekend to kind of put this together. Like, so all of this stuff just makes it way more worth it. It's really, really cool.
100%. It was dope having him too, because like he just changed. Like, literally, I was so like anxious going into this weekend, and literally all he just said was just change it up. Like, everybody plays the same, change it up. I literally just had fun while blowing somebody about 20, and it's like I never really took DBG as somebody I could take like competitive advice from.
He's
but
good,
like
man.
he's good. Like he's a lot better than I thought. I will be honest. I did not. I didn't know that much. Like, he told me more about the game than I would have known prior episodes. So like, just my mindset going in, whether what happens, I'm happy about it, and I really definitely appreciate having somebody like that on. It was dope.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I mean, he's been doing this a long time, man. I think he's analyzed the game in a way not many other people have, right? And he kind of does a documentary every year as well, right? On each year, so he really does. He's got a better understanding of what's going on in this game at any point, I think, than probably anyone else. All right, guys, let's move on to. I've got a couple of things to close out. I know we're probably at like 2 hours already on this. I'm gonna have a very long weekend of editing ahead of me, but there's a couple more things I wanted to discuss. I said last week that we'll get a Galaxy Opal Giannis, and a pink diamond dropped out of nowhere, right? Like, that was kind of unexpected. I'm confident in the fact that I think Giannis will be the XP reward next season.
That'd be nice. That would make that would make everyone go for it, like, to do level 40. Because after 250k, it's probably going to be a bit of a like, really can't bother. But then, like, a Giannis would be, that'd get a lot of people, actually going for that.
Yeah,
that'd be the most hyped card, to be honest.
I'll tell you what.
That's kind of why
they give that card range. I'll grind for him. If they give that card range, I'll go for him. But at least at 85 or higher people, I'll get that Giannis card. If not, it's not happening.
Yeah, people are losing interest in the XP, man. Like, Kawhi's obviously a very popular card, but he's not Giannis popular, right? They need to get people reinvested in XP, because I'm at 105 or 110k right now. Honestly, I'm in two minds about whether I can be bothered finishing it or not. I really am. That's where I'm at right now. Next season, it just has to be one of the most popular cards in the game. We've already got T-Mac. We've already got Wade. We've kind of got a lot of the other kind of general consensus most popular cards. I think it has to be Giannis. It has to be. And it has to be Giannis with a shot. I can't think of another card where people grind. Unless it's a Kobe, potentially. I can't see any other card that's going to make everyone lock in than Giannis.
That's actually not a bad idea. You saying Kobe, you might be on something. I feel like if they did do, because like, you see how people have to grind for Go Kobe and he was that good. This is their chance to kind of make up for that, like making Go Kobe again, but not as a Go, obviously. Do you think the next season was going to be a Dark Matter or Galaxy Opal?
Opal.
98 Opal again?
Yeah. I think so. We had a 97 Opal, we had a 98 Opal. I mean, like, if you look at the first two were both 96 pink diamonds, right? It could be a Dark Matter card. If
they could have did 97 with Wade. They could have did 97 with Wade. They could have did like Wade 97, Kawhi 97, but he did 98. So I feel like as it gets later, I feel like we might get a Dark Matter. I could be wrong, but I feel like we
It could be the case for sure. I mean, we're 2 weeks from the end of this season, right? So we're probably looking at 4 weeks after that. So we're looking 6 weeks from now where that card will actually be available, right? In the community. So yeah, it definitely could be a Dark Matter card by then. But I feel like they're gonna have a payoff probably on the Galaxy Opals. That's what I think. Like they'll have one.
And
card.
Jason Tatum too. And Jason, remember the Jason Tatum collection? Like
yeah,
I think he might be the Dark Matter too because we got Lillard 97 Opal. 2,000 cards later, you got to make it a Dark Matter. Like to get 4,000 cards it's a headache, bro. So I think we could get a Dark Matter. I think so.
Yeah. Guys, I've got one final topic, and it's completely out of left field. But this is something I've been thinking for a long time. I want to see what you guys think. IRL card collecting is bigger than it's probably been in decades, right? There's a lot of YouTubers out there opening packs, like real life packs, and running videos on them as well, and mixing it into MyTeam and all of this stuff. It's really popular. What do you think about 2K releasing the cards that they have as real life cards? Do you think it would be a popular thing?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because it would have a bit of collective. Like you could collect them because, like, imagine if you had a card in 2018 on 2K and it was like your favorite card, and you could actually have that in real life. Because like now you look back at those cards, unless they release them how they are now, finally, you could never go back and use that card kind of thing. So they could definitely like get some money out of that, but I don't know how popular because it's still just our community that would only be probably interested. But like it would be a cool thing. It would be really cool.
It's a big community, man. It is a really big. I mean, it's probably a bigger community than the actual card collecting community, right? I mean, as a crossover, I think it will draw people in from both worlds. Like as a 2K, as a marketing strategy, like it's an absolute no-brainer because you're right. Like we one of the funniest things, right, is we kind of go through all of this and it's irrelevant the next year, right? This is what got me thinking, right? And we're at a point now where it's not even next year; it's now next season, right? We grind out for 6 weeks. And then we start a new season, and the previous season did. I mean, maybe it matters a little bit, but the season before that definitely doesn't, right? Like if you look at the Blake Griffin season now, I mean, literally everything from that season is irrelevant right now. So we're literally got like a 6 to 12 week gap where things stay relevant. And if 2K could mix this in, like with their content, like you could literally, if you pick up certain cards, they literally post you that version of that card and the popularity of all of that. You get kind of rookie sets. Like you look at last year, you look at the NXT release, right, where we had LaMelo and Wiseman and all of that. They could really take over. I think 2K could take over that market. Now, I'm not in the business of trying to help 2K make money, but I genuinely would collect. I think I would collect those cards.
Yeah, I'd definitely collect some for sure. That'd be pretty cool. Just cool. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds cool. Like it definitely is a dope idea, but I don't know. I enjoy the game aspect of it more, but that definitely is a dope idea. Maybe I might do a little 1 or 2 pack opening, depending if I get a little. I mean, do you think these cards are gonna hold value though, like, or is it just gonna be just pure enjoyment?
You mean the real life cards?
Yeah, like the real life cards.
I think they would. It depends how much they release, right? Yeah. That's the thing with collecting. Like you see behind me, right? Like I'm a collector.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money on those shelves, but I didn't pay a lot of money for them. Like I get a kick out of that. I think I would collect them, and I think they would hold. I think certain cards would hold value as long as they were like limited runs. Let's say they only released like 50 cards out of the GOAT cards from last year. Let's say they only released 50 of each of them. Like each card was 1 of 50. I think those cards will be popular, man. Yeah. I think they'll be popular. I think a lot of the sort of younger players on this game are not kind of in tune with card collecting. I think they'll get really high on it.
Yeah. I'm into card collecting. Like, it's blowing up like crazy. Even in my country, like, it's chaos, man. It's chaos to try to get those cards. Like, I got a couple Zion rookies. I got a couple Zion rookies, and like I hold those like gold. Those are like gold to me now. So
you got some Zion rookie
definitely
cards?
Do something. Yeah, I got some Zion rookie cards.
Did you pull them or did you buy them?
2 of them. I pulled them, and 2 one in like a raise. They have like these things on Facebook, these groups.
Jeez,
like
the
card
you need
wheel,
to start
honestly,
doing this stuff on video, man.
Oh, word. Like the card wheel is insane right now, and it's not just NBA; it's all them UFC, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh. Like everything. I'm not even kidding. Is
it really fun though?
Yeah,
it's pretty good. Collecting,
I'd look into it, man.
And it's also fun for people who want to hustle, bro. Like if you know how to flip cards in real life, you can make serious bank.
That,
you
well, I
can
think I
make
like that part of
serious
it.
bank.
Tell
Yeah.
me about
Like one of my Zion rookies is worth about $150. Like, and
Yeah.
it's not even like a very rare one. It's just a base Zion.
It's a
And
great
doubled
money maker,
it.
man. Like, if I'm being
Yeah.
honest, this collection behind me, I mean, you guys probably see this every video, but you can actually see it's double stacked, right? So all the way
Yeah.
through, there's kind of two. I probably spent two grand on that collection. It's worth over 10. Easily
Oh,
worth.
that's a crazy flip.
Um,
That's a crazy flip.
And I'm starting to look at cards now, like IRL cards. The thing is, like, I've never collected basketball cards. It's never something I've done. But I watch the videos on it. Like, I've started watching Pac-Man's videos. Like when Kenny does pack openings. It's like it's probably my favorite content right now, to be honest, online, is watching these guys opening boxes of things that I've never owned. There's something quite interesting about it. And I think if 2K kind of crossed over into that, I think it would spark a whole new community, man. And I think it would bring
steal some money. Yeah, they'd steal some money.
They would. Yeah. Okay. Well, 2K, if you ever do that, make sure you pay me for the rights. I'm gonna trademark that today. Cool, guys. We have done the longest podcast we've ever done. Thank you for waking up early, Josh. We were on a different time schedule this week. So usually, because our guests are in the States, usually Jakal's awake at like 4 a.m. trying to do this. Today that was Josh, because DBG's on my time schedule. How are you feeling, Josh? You feeling awake?
I mean, as I kept going through it, I felt better. Like, it's just at first, the first few times, it's like,
yeah,
that
first 10
moving
minutes
around, talking. Yeah, just moving around and talking, it made it easier. Especially with the sun out. And DBG got me hyped up. Like, I'm ready to go through the day. Like, I thought I wasn't gonna stream. I'm gonna definitely stream, and it's no pressure now. It's fun right now. Like, I just enjoy myself playing. Yeah, I'm gonna stream. I don't care if I get stream time or something. I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah, do it,
whatever.
man.
Just have fun, bro. So I'm definitely not even tripping about it. Definitely not.
As always, guys, our links are on the screen somewhere. Josh and Jakel's links are on the screen.
Quick shout out to Jazz for bringing us a part of this. He's going something special here. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Well, I don't know if you guys saw my tweet. I will give you an atomic wedgie if you don't. So you better get sub to Jazz and turn on to the post notifications.
I don't know if threats are the best way to. It's all right. I'll get my Illuminati friends to sort them out. Don't worry about it. Thanks, Josh. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Yeah, please like and subscribe, guys. Please, we're trying to get some momentum with this. We've got some amazing guests. We're having a lot of fun. Drop a comment, drop a like, drop a sub, do all of that. And yeah, we'll catch you next week, I guess. Until next time, thanks for watching, guys.